see him now logged in?
I'm here, Catherine. Can you see me?
I thought you were. I just wanted to make sure you had a chance to give us an update before we go on to the next thing. And thanks for being able to come today.
Hey, no problem. I apologize for not being here at the start. Today's my day off, and I wish I had a better story, but my kids decided to break the glass on my front door of my house. So I've been dealing with that. I got a little sidetracked and lost track of time. So,
oh my God! Well, thanks for joining us on your day off. That's
hey, not a problem. I enjoy it.
Thank you.
I enjoy it. I'll jump right in and just kind of go over stats from this past month. As everybody can tell, spring break is in full effect, and we've been seeing a lot more people visiting the Key and staying on the Key. From our perspective, the guys that work out there every day, I fingers crossed that we can get through these next few months, but it's been seems to be going pretty well as far as the day-to-day operations. We're not seeing a huge influx of the high school kids that came down. We've kind of missed that a lot. It's been a lot of families. And for the most part, they've been on their pretty good behavior at the public beach during the day. I know we've had some issues at night, and we've had some issues on some other parts of the Key, but for the public beach, they've been fairly decent for what you could expect out of a bunch of spring break kids on spring break. To go over some of the calls for service, we had 620 incidents on Siesta Key last month. 50 or 8% of the total were the property crimes classified under the new reporting system. We had 6 reported residential burglaries. 5 of them were very close together. They happened on one evening, and we believe it's all related to the same suspect. We have a bunch of security footage and surveillance footage from the victims and some nearby residents. So we have a suspect in the case. I don't know if an arrest has been made yet, but we do have a pretty good idea of who we thought did those. The majority of the vehicle burglaries, again, were a bunch of unlocked vehicles. I'll use that opportunity to again say, hey, hide your valuables, lock your cars. Just those simple acts can prevent you from becoming a victim of a vehicle burglary. Overall, we've had, like I said, not that crazy of a spring break so far. We did have a couple of thefts of electric bicycles, a golf cart, and a van that were both recovered. We'd had a little bit of an instance that we were able to determine a group of kids from St. Pete traveled down to Siesta Key and were breaking into cars and stealing cars. We caught them. We got into a small little pursuit. I think they crashed, and I believe we arrested at least 1 or 2 of them. I don't have all the details on that right now, but I know they were all traced back. They came from St. Pete. They targeted Siesta Key, and they came here specifically. They just didn't expect us to be there to catch them. So I just want to quickly go through that because I know we have some other questions that Ms. Luckner and I had talked about and wanted to get to, and that was mainly the electric bikes on the beach. We have 2 county ordinances that prevent electric bikes being on the beach. It does make it is not legal. It is illegal to drive your electric bike on the beach when you're using it as an electric vehicle. If it's the type of bike that has pedals and you're pedaling it and you're using it under your own power, then it's going to be considered a bicycle, which then you can use on the beach, obviously. I met with the county on a couple occasions and ran it through our legal counsel at the sheriff's office as well, just to make sure, like I spoke in the last meeting, we want to do our due diligence, make sure we had the right information. After some going back and forth a few times, we feel like it clearly falls under our county ordinance. If anybody wants to write it down, it's section 130-37. 130-37, and it's titled Motor Vehicles Prohibited on the Beach. If you want to look at it, it's easy to look up. It's in Municode. You can Google it and pull it up for Sarasota County Municode, County Ordinance, Sarasota County. It'll pop up. You can search it by keyword. You can type in the actual county ordinance number, and it pops right up. And just to quickly give some clarity to what it means. One, it says that no person shall operate or park a motor vehicle or cause a motor vehicle to be operated or parked upon the beaches or dunes of Sarasota County, Florida. And it goes down further and it defines what a motor vehicle is. And according to the county ordinance, a motor vehicle means any self-propelled vehicle not operated upon rails or a guideway, but it does not include bicycles or electric personal assistive mobility devices. And that it refers to like your electric wheelchairs or anything that would fall under the ADA to help people with disabilities get around. They're allowed to be out there with those things on the beach. We've started to try to get that information out to people and try to make it a little more aware. You know, we got to give some people some leeway here with some time. They've done it for a while now. We know it's against the ordinance, so we just got to give them some time, get some education out there, let people know that we're not allowed to do it. Sarasota County has also put out they added to their frequently asked questions part of the Sarasota County Parks website, the Parks and Rec website. It talks about what's illegal, who it applies to, why it's illegal, and it gives all the contact information for Mr. Yeager, Mr. Miranda, and the non-emergency number for the county and the sheriff's office. I know it's been a big topic of discussion, and these groups that have been going around 30 or 20 or 30 people strong, and it can become a safety issue, not only for people, but for what Kylie was just talking about for the birds, and it's nesting season, and those bikes can go basically anywhere. So I wanted to talk with you guys about that and just kind of clarify if there was any type of misunderstanding about it. It is not legal to ride your electric scooter or electric bike on the beach. And with that, I'll open up. If anybody has any questions or want me to clarify anything better, let me know.
I would say there is a note here that says there's a sign on the lifeguard stand that electric bikes are not allowed.
Yes, I believe the lifeguards did put that on theirs. And it obviously helps to get it out there as much as possible. And unfortunately, I think people now will sometimes think that it only applies to the public beach or the area in between those lifeguard stands. And it does apply there, but it also applies throughout all the beaches and dunes within Sarasota County.
I've started to record them. I've got a couple of films for you to watch.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
How long ago have you seen them out there?
Last night, about
Last
25,
night.
30, lights on, lights. I mean, now it's sunset, so they have lights on. So there are 20, 30 bikes coming, they're riding. They're running the motors, and they fake the pedals when they go by me, and I tell them they have to pedal. So they fake them, but they can't pedal that fast.
They're at sunset every night at the pier.
Yeah, that's where they're going. They're going from my house down to the pier. They wait for sunset and turn around and come back.
Mike, was that you?
Michael.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Are they? I was going to give you a shout. Are they still coming down there at sunset? The same company.
The same company. The guy's name is Derek, and I've stayed away from it.
Okay. Yeah, we'll reach out to him and talk to him and let him know and educate him and make sure. We spoke with several of the places on Siesta Key already, and they've assured us that they understand that it's not legal, and they don't want their electric bikes going out there anyways, just because of the damage that it does to the bikes. But I know there is a couple companies that specifically, tailor to that. So we'll get in touch with them and let them know that they're going to have to stop.
Thank you. You rock. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for that. Really appreciate it. And anyone else have any other questions for him? And by the way, I understand, Sergeant Smith, you've had a lot more folks out there than what we even knew about on that beach doing that work.
Yeah, we still have our Siesta Key, our spring break operation 2021 is still in effect. So we still have, you might not see them all the time, but they're out there. We're out there as much as we can with as much resources as we can. So if you have anything or you have any questions, please feel free. If it's an emergency, call 911. If you need a deputy, call the non-emergency number. Or if you just have a question, feel free to give me a call, shoot me an email. We're here to try to help and do as much as we can.
We had one comment before you go. I'm just reading here that we've had a lot of people spilling into the road around the Crescent Club and Captain Kurtz in the evening. And as you know, there's really no extended pavement beyond the front of the property there. And they've been really worried about it because they're actually in the road and just, enjoying being there, I'm sure. But I don't know what can be done to get them out of the road or to somehow get them back into the bar area.
So they're coming from Captain Kurtz, you saying?
No, they're actually at those places. They're not moving from them. They're just there, but there's just so many people that it's obstructing the roadway, and they're actually beyond the limits of the seating areas. Apparently so many people, but also they're spilling into the road while they're there. And there's also an awful lot of noise. We just heard that this evening. So I wondered if anyone could check that out to see if it's temporary or whether we could alert somebody how to make that a safer spot, to get them off the road.
Yeah. So first I'll say if there's people standing in the roadway and you feel it's a safety issue, call us. Well, deputy will come out and address the situation. But also on top of that, I'll reach out to the owners of Captain Kurtz and the Sneaky Tiki there and, just let them know about the complaint and say, hey, what can we do? Maybe we can figure out another solution to try to alleviate that problem.
I mean, it's really clear they don't have any extended right-of-way because the right-of-way is actually the road. And I think, they're legal where they are as far as a structure because we had done that research some time ago. It's just a very risky situation. And I don't know what we can do. It might be a building issue we need to talk with somebody about to make the sidewalks have some kind of a railing.
Aaron has a comment.
Aaron, I just wanted Sergeant Smith to know that from what I've seen, the problem is worse at the Crescent Club.
Yes.
Captain
Agreed.
Kurtz has a little bit more parking lot where people can go into, where people can actually park, and they kind of congregate in that area, which is to the south of the Captain Kurtz restaurant, between that and the Sneaky Tiki. The big problem is at the Crescent Club.
Right.
Catherine, could I just insert something here real quickly? It just happened in the last day. There's a major change to the front of the Crescent Club. They took out those concrete piers that were there before. They're gone, and there's pilings there. So I don't know who got them to do it, but the front end has changed. It's dramatic.
Yes.
But is that a good thing?
I noticed that last night, too.
It's better. Everything you all are saying is absolutely correct. It was madness before because people would park their bikes sticking out into the, back in alongside these concrete blocks, if you like. But they're gone, and I don't know why they're gone, Sergeant. But it has changed it's made the front end much safer, but still bad.
Yeah, I didn't notice that. I haven't been out there for a couple of days, so I will check into it when I get back out there. And it does make sense that it's more coming from the Crescent Club than Captain Kurtz because they have a lot of property there, Captain Kurtz and Sneaky Tiki, for people to kind of spill into. But the Crescent Club does.
You have to check it out on a Thursday, Friday, or Saturday night. And I know this is spring break, so after 2 weeks from now, it might be different. But it's just been horrendous and dangerous for the lakes.
Well, what's going on is we have no sidewalk whatsoever in front of the Crescent. So people walk in the bike lane and the bikes go out in the traffic. Somebody's going to get killed for sure. It's very dangerous.
It's a very risky place. Thanks for checking on that. If there's anything that we can do, whether it's to talk with people like one of the staff like Spencer Anderson that does some structural modifications to areas, maybe that's an idea, but take a look and see what you think, Sergeant Smith.
Yes, I will. I'll get back with you on that.
All right. Thank you very much. And I'm going to, just on our current agenda, we're kind of a kilter just a little bit, but because Jim spoke up just a moment ago and I know he's there, I'm going to make a real quick comment here about the Stickney Point signal legal action because we had a lot of interest in that. And then if there are questions, we know he's here. I'm going to move it up to where there would have been
The coalition.
About the coalition.
Right.
And I'm gonna do this because Jim had actually prepared a comment for me to draw on, and then if there are questions about it, and we want you to know if there are questions, it's important. It's an important issue. You know, you remember, I think everybody remembers when the promenade was conditioned legally on whether or not the DOT had a red light. It was one of the conditions of approval of that entire development. But one of the problems, I'm sorry. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I meant to see the Board of County Commissioners when it was approved. And it was approved based on that light. And since that time, there's been a lot of concern about the fact that nobody really included the Siesta Key as in its entirety about how that would impact the Barrier Island. And so there has been additional effort from Jim Wallace and Ralph Brooks, the attorney, to pursue this issue because we felt that they ignored a very significant group of people, and that is those of us that live on Siesta Key and how people get here and the dangerousness of it. So recently we had other concerns. We've seen people have emergency vehicles that were stuck on the Stickney Point, both 4 lanes of it, coming and going, and not really ever realizing the impact of extra traffic there that then pushes diversion traffic onto the north end of our key, which is another area that's had its share of deathly accidents over the last 6 or 7 years. So recently, Dr. Wallace, Jim, did pursue this and gave briefs to the administrative law judge, and the DOT did already agree he had standing. And what's good about that is if he has standing, we all do. We all matter on the key, and I'm glad that they recognized it. But they also then moved the case back to the DOT. The administrative law group said, DOT, you're the experts, you decide. So those discussions are now underway, and there is still a need for any support financially that anybody can offer. I know Bob and I have donated recently, and other people as well. Despite all the other big things that we're working on the key right now, it's very critical because we could do something to halt that project in its current form with that light. It will spare us, and it might give at least a better entry into the key. It doesn't take care of all the problems, but it would be a huge relief not to have that. So please do feel free to donate. On our webpage, you will see how to do that under the Siesta Promenade webpage and website. And Jim's now referring to it as the Stickney Point Light.
Catherine,
yes.
Catherine, also on the donate button, if they hit the donate button on this website, the information will be there.
Oh, okay, great. You'll just get the site to go mail it to them. That's wonderful. Thanks, Joyce. So does anyone have any questions about this right now, about where it stands right now? Anybody?
Catherine, one question.
Yes.
There was something about perhaps making some testimony and getting it notarized about the traffic.
Right, the affidavits, right. Yes, Jim had included for us to put on the webpage affidavits that if people have had specific experiences and you know when they were and could describe what they were and could get your signature just to verify that is you making the statement, it adds to really the wealth of people that have had lots of difficulty getting onto the key from on beyond 41 even in the last 6 weeks. It's been very difficult. If you'd like to file an affidavit, you can also fill one of those out because it might well be used in some way to support what his statements have been to the DOT. And that would be a great thing to do. You can find a copy on our webpage.
Hey, Catherine, you are so sweet when it comes to asking for funds. If anybody wants to match 100, I'll do it right now.
That's Mike Holderness speaking. So just consider that it's one for two, right? Something
yep,
like that.
Yep.
Okay.
We got to do what we can.
Would it be cheating if I matched you? Look, I can't, this is Jim Wallace here. I can't talk about very much about the current situation, but we actually had a breakthrough because the whole notion of whether or not I had as the sole plaintiff standing is a big issue. Standing is always a big issue. I've unfortunately been involved in a lot of legal actions over the last 15 years. I can tell you in just so many different times you frequently don't get to the merits of your case. The good news here is that this matter has been removed from DOA, the court, and positioned back to FDOT, and FDOT was on the record when that happened that I had standing. That's a big deal. And that the only issue they wanted the court to address was whether or not they should reverse their decision on the light. That is, no longer approve that light being there. And so we'll see. I can't talk anything more about it because, frankly, my attorney and I are in conversation with the very top leadership of FDOT on this matter. But it's what I will say is that if you think about it, we're on the record where they never did an impact on Siesta Key, really nothing. Nothing on Siesta Key. No impact. So that put them in serious due process from a constitutional standpoint, a U.S. constitutional standpoint. So we'll see how all this plays out. Say your prayers, and assuming that we win at that end, we'll be looking at the other end of Stickney Point. Because
Thank you.
That's it.
Jim.
I'm done.
Aaron, did you want to say something? You have your hand up.
Okay, Mike, I'll donate on behalf of Siesta Royale Apartments. I'll donate 100 if you match it.
You got it.
Well, I'll do it anyway, but
now I'm at 200. You got it.
Okay. Thank you guys. That's wonderful. Oh, okay. Super.
And Jim, this is for Jim Wallace.
Yeah, this is for.
Are you still on? So
yes.
I'm a former GM environmental and energy employee too, so I'd love to meet you sometime.
Oh, that would be great. When were you there? When did you leave?
2009.
Okay.
Wow.
All right.
And I was there in 1988.
Okay.
Thanks.
Love to meet you. Love to meet you sometime.
Yeah, that would be great. I love it.
Very credentialed and talented people, and so good to know.